Welcome, blessed star family. Starseed family, lightworker family, but just family in general. Because you don't have to be a starseed or a lightworker to subscribe to this channel or be a part of this group. You know, we all serve a purpose here, every single one of us. And I don't care what label you put on yourself, you're still a superhero. Because, in my opinion, every single solitary being, from a little tiny worm to the biggest giant on the planet, even in inner earth, outer earth, I am feeling this energy that's like, we are just superheroes. That's why the theme for this is I Rise from Katy Perry. I had heard the song before. I've been a fan of Katy Perry kind of like this. Having nieces and nephews like 20 years plus younger than me, it was really cool. They turned me on to a lot of music that, I wasn't really aware of. And then I went back to college in my late 30s. And I remember one of the first times I think it was the first time I heard Lady Gaga was I was in college for fashion design, and it was a sewing class, and it was a 3-hour lab. So our professor was really cool. She was like, if you guys want to play music, as long as you agree on it and it's not too loud, you're more than welcome to do that. And so, because some people would put their headphones on, they just want to get in their own world and create, and other people like working with other people, it helps keep them going. And so one of my dearest lightworker friends was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'll never forget. It was like, do you guys want to hear Lady Gaga? And they're all like, yeah. I'm like, who's Lady Gaga? And they're like, who's Lady Gaga? But it's the same turn goes for me, because I was like maybe 38, 39 at that time, probably 39, I think. And I had played music one day, but I had my thing on shuffle, and Jack and Diane came on from John Cougar Mellencamp, and they're like, oh, I like this. They're like, because it starts out, so I turn them on to, you know what I mean? It makes you realize, like, it's all, you know what I mean? We're just helping each other. We're walking each other home, that kind of thing. We're just like there for each other. And I remember I was like, you don't know Jack and Diane? I'm like, how do you not know Jack and Diane? I'm like, how old are you? Like, who are your parents? And then I just put oil on my face. I'm like, then I realized like, that their parents were like my age. Some of them, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. But some did, some knew, and they're like, of course we know, John Cougar, and other people are like, I never heard of him. Anyway, long story short, Lady Gaga. I just remember, I think it was Bad Romance. I wanted, because I feel like it was like, boom, 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 and I was like, what is this, Because, I was in the age of, I was born in 71, so growing up the way that I did, and in the time period that I did, obviously my icons and my music will be different. And I was watching this interview with Cher recently. Oh, Cher, you don't even know how much Cher has like saved my life and like paved the way for me. It's just, I mean, there's so many. Cher, Dolly, Stevie, like I literally could go on and on. So Katy Perry is somebody that was like, I didn't really know of her, and I was in the car with my niece, and she put her on. I think she put on Roar, and which is why I kept feeling like she was a Leo. And so I'm like, but I looked it up, and I'm like, I don't think she's a Leo. But it's interesting because when I think of her, I think of lions, and I think of Leo, because the first time I heard her, I heard that song. And so as we are like going into Leo season, which is also why, led the way with fire, there was just a lot of things I want to talk to you all about. And there's just been so many, I'm like, the perfectionist in me like wants to fix this, and this other, oh, my spirit guides are so funny right now. They're being so funny right now because I didn't notice it. And they're like, you didn't care about it until you noticed it. So these are all tying in. You're probably seeing like follow the breadcrumbs of where we're going today. And also the title's on there, but I'll say it here to keep in context with what is happening right now. So emotional clutter, hanging onto emotions and bad feelings like a hoarder. So I think I mean, that's what I wrote down from Spirit. So I don't know what the actual title is at this point, but it's basically, do we attach ourselves to a memory? Like, am I going to attach that memory to my old friend and my family member and be sad about it? Or am I going to, because I don't talk to them anymore? Or am I going to just remember the memory and just be in the happiness of the memory and loving them that way? And I feel like we're going through this kind of like back alley, back door healing. As we each heal individually, we are healing everything, not just the planet, which desperately needs our help right now, and our high vibration. People have been asking me, they're like, what would you recommend, or blah blah blah. And I'm like, what I have found is that the more I am alone, and the more I like do things that make me happy and bring me joy, the more it is easy to stay in this vibration. And it's interesting because I know a lot of times people don't want to hear things like change, or emotional clutter, or anything like that. But we start to realize, like, why are we hoarding things? People, places, things, what emotions, like, why are we hoarding them? So I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm like, maybe that's what it is. No, it's still there. But they're so right, because there's literally one side of me that does not give a shit that this is, because Baba does this. So what happens is Baba likes to go on the top of the cushions, and then she'll move around, and she takes the curtain with her, and I got to fix it all the time. I am constantly fixing, changing, you know what I mean? And I realized that, my partner came back. I'm going to tie back into Katy Perry. Just you wait. But my partner came back for a few days, and we worked through a lot of stuff very quickly. And then the one thing we really recognized was, I'm like, when you were gone, you were working and resting, but you weren't like, I said, when you were gone, I was working, I was resting, but I was also working on myself, and I was working on us, and working with Baba and the house, and trying to make things better, and, always trying to improve. And so it was really interesting. I had all of these breakthroughs while they were here, because I have been focusing every day. It's like mental gymnastics, right? It's like the discipline is unbelievable. If you haven't seen it yet, please go check out the latest picker reading. It's really, really good. Spirit, and these stories are going to flow into each other, but I have to tell you this side note story. So this beautiful little laptop contraption, notebook thing, it's not a real laptop. It's what they call a notebook. And it was blessed. A beautiful tribe member, one of our, my feet, I'm freezing. It's July 22nd, by the way. It's July 22nd, and I'm like, oh my gosh, welcome to the Pacific Northwest. 1 minute it's 90, the next minute it's 56. Woohoo! It really keeps you on your toes. But anyway, I'm so grateful for this, because initially they gave this to me to help me with my writing, to help me with a lot of different things. But then I started to realize that it was limited, and I couldn't really use it for many things, so I didn't really use it for much. And then when we were off grid, I didn't have a lot of access to electricity, and when I did, the last thing I was thinking about was that. I did everything on my phone. Cut to recently, when Spirit asked us to move the television and the DVD player along that was gifted to us by another tribe member. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much. I mean, seriously, you guys gift us stuff all the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the gifts that keep on coming, because I can feel you. Some of you can kind of feel like you got something in the works. I just feel it. I feel good coming. I feel money coming. Like, I just feel good. I feel good. High vibration, high vibration. But it's been a really cool, awesome, interesting journey. And when we decided to watch this property and do a semi off-grid thing again, he's like, I have about a 15 amp I can give you. He's like, I haven't, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, it's fine, no worries. With some 5 acres, just where we wanted to be. It was the only thing we could do was an extension cord. So I'm like, well, we could still watch TV and whatever. We were called to donate it. We were called to donate so many things that we've used over the years that I'm like, why would we get rid of that? But, I just don't question it. Interestingly enough, we were watching movies on my phone, because we did that a lot when we were off grid. And we just learned to deal with it. Movies, TV shows, whatever, we didn't care. Then we get in here, and we were trying to watch this movie, and the sound was so low. And I said, I wonder if I can get that on my, I said, I said, I bet I can, what? I go, it's not going to be the best picture, but will probably be a better sound than my phone. And he's like, yeah, let's try it. So we put it on, and I'm like, I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, and he's like, what? I'm like, do you not notice how better the picture is? And he's like, oh yeah. And I said, I think this is one of those things, and I think it's set up that it's like it's like the gift that keeps on giving. so so thank you, sister. It literally is the gift that keeps on giving, because I just went and checked, and I did some stuff on there, and yeah, it's like all this software has been updated. So I have more room. I have there's all these things. It's really, really cool, but the camera is like much better. Right now it's not. I have no lights on. I'm a natural light and like, a little fairy lights, but I mean, I have no other lights on. If I put a light on and did stuff, it would definitely come through better. That's why it's, not the best, but who cares? It's just about the message. I've actually been thinking about, people have been begging me for years, and I mean for years, to do a podcast. And I just was never called to it. I was never, but lately I've been like, so that might be something I end up doing. Or if you do a podcast, or if you're interested in doing a podcast and you want someone to, do a podcast with you, I would love to, be a guest, or, co-host or something, like if it's something that you need, or like a temporary, or every so often, or, one of those kind of things. Lately, somebody had said to me, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel. I'm like, do it. I'm like, you should do it, And they're like, I don't know. And they're kind of a shy person. And I said, well, but if you are doing it with the intent that you just want to share information, you don't have to have like the, most outgoing personality. I mean, I am who I am, but some people, I watch some people that if you were listening to them, you'd be like, they're so monotone. How do you listen to them? But when the message is there and you're interested, it really doesn't matter what decibel level, you know what I mean, that it's at. It's like, if you're there for the message, if you're there for the medicine, the medicine will appear. Also, I'm getting a vibe from Spirit that this is going to be the best fall we've ever had. And it's going to be the best fall we've ever had, fall, spring for our Southern Hemisphere family. I just saw so much happening. And I mean, I would be remiss not to mention something that has been coming up for a long time. And this isn't ego, it's just soul knowledge. But those of you who've been with me for a long time know that in one of these a long time ago, I think when it was on Lula's Labyrinth, it had to have been, because that was pre the magical medium in Lula's life. And I may have taken it down now, I don't know. But when Alder and I were talking about it, I'm like, do you remember that? He's like, oh yeah, I do. And it's not me. That's why it's not ego. It's just exciting. Like, it's good confirmation, because sometimes you feel like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Am I, blah, blah, blah. And then, Spirit comes in and like, reminds us like, yeah, like we're good. Everything's good. I haven't even put a brush through my hair. I was going to, and then I was like, oh, it's kind of cute. I'll leave it. But I can tell that it's starting to fall because of anyway, I digress. So one of the downloads that I received from Spirit many moons ago was that our current president was going to be replaced with the vice president. And I pray that he's healthy and stays healthy and all that. But, I did have a moment with Spirit where I saw him passing away. I mean, whatever's meant to be, with love and grace and gratitude and all that, and wishing a good life and all that. I wish him well. I wish him good health. I wish everybody good health and love and happiness and joy and all that. But I did see that. And so for me, I have been so elated, because even though I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know, blah, 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 the attempt on the other candidate, I can't help but feel was set up. So I don't know who set it up or what happened. I just can't shake the feeling that if he was meant to be dead, he would be. And I just can't shake that feeling. I can't shake it, and I'm not gonna, I'm like, I can't deny everything that I am and whatever, and be like, because I don't have any personal grudges against him. Not only that, but I used to really love him, and I used to watch The Apprentice. So, so to me, I'm just like, it is what it is, people are who they are, and he may, I'd like to say like he's gonna surprise me, but it's like, it's just, anyway. With that being said, as I'm like holding and playing with Isis, it's the rise of the goddess right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever happens, something major is gonna happen that's gonna like turn the tide. And it's like the I feel like right now, since the serious gate opened, and now we're on the cusp of ending Cancer and going into Leo, and then we have a few more weeks of the Cancer moon, and then we're gonna have the new moon in Leo on August 4th. Thank you, Pam Gregory, for reminding me. And it's just shit's gonna be on fire. Leo season, it's like, this girl is on fire. Yeah, like the next 6 weeks are gonna be like, some shit is like, it's like all of the stuff is gonna burn away, and it's gonna be like one of those things where, like, remember those of you who watch Game of Thrones, remember when the mother of dragons like goes into the fire, and they're like, they try to burn the eggs, or I don't remember, it's been a long time since I've seen it now, but she like walks out, and she's like fucking like no clothes, and she's naked, and she's like comes out, and she's like, and the fucking, or I think she comes out with the eggs or something, I don't remember, the dragons hatch, but I just remember that she like walks out, and like everybody's like, oh, like holy fuck, like, right, because like this was like a prophecy, and she's like, this is what's meant to happen. And when you watch the Game of Thrones, it's like the Game of Thrones is just a metaphor. It's like every movie, every TV show, I've been talking about this for a long time, as light workers and starseeds, like we know, like as angels, like we know for sure, like what we were brought here to do, or we know that we have some type of superhero ability. And I am feeling that superhero ability, like I am really feeling it, especially because I'm a triple fire and my moon's in water. So coming out of this happens around like Scorpio season to Sagittarius season is always like super harsh for me, because it's usually around eclipse season as well. At least it has been for many, many, many moons. And it can really, really fuck with me. And it's interesting because last year Mercury went into retrograde on my birthday, December 13th. And then this year my birthday is on Friday the 13th. Hey Taylor, hit me up. I'm like, Taylor, seriously, like I have been like putting into the universe, if we're meant to meet, I'm like, can we please meet on either this Friday the 13th or before this Friday the 13th, you know what I mean, or another Friday the 13th, or celebrate together, because I'm like, it's such a rare thing to share that type of birthday, because Friday is Freya and 13 is the number of the goddess, and when you add it together, it's the number 4, which is about laying the foundation. You need a solid foundation, and so a lot of shit's gonna burn away. And so I'm excited to see what happens after this summer/winter, and see whatever, like the reaping of the harvest and the replanting of, you know what I mean? So it's just really cool shit. So stay with that, because what's holding all of us back and what everyone is going through right now is the emotional clutter. And a lot of us are in different ways are either hoarding it, or like hoarding it and just like replaying it over and over and over. Like, when you break up with somebody and like you hear your love song, and then like you just put it on. I remember like in the 80s, like when I had a tape player and like being like and like rewinding it, and being like, you know what I mean, like singing and like listening to the song over and over, and you're like an emotional cutter. You're like, how much more can I like fucking destroy myself? And if you ever notice that if you're in a negative vibration about somebody, or you're trying to work through something, especially now with this veil being so thin, and it's getting thinner and thinner as we get to Samhain and Halloween, October 31st, when we get to Samhain, everything is going to change like you will not even fucking believe, which Samhain is always before the United States fucking election. I mean, come on. So there's so much happening. I'm here for it. But yeah, there's just a lot of like these connections that are happening. So the fact that I know my birthday is either in Mercury retrograde this year, or it's like the last day of Mercury retrograde. It's like some crazy shit like that, where I'm like, that's fucking awesome, So it's all in the way you look at things. And we are all now, look at now all of these. You think it's an accident that Taylor's favorite number is 13, and now everybody's favorite number is 13. It's like, does Taylor, like, do the Swifties know? I don't know. Do they know that it's the number of the goddess? I feel like somebody, if you're a Swiftie, or, pass this on to the Swifties and see. But, yeah, this girl is on fire. Like, our fire signs are, like, not fucking playing around. They are not playing around. Actually, I have a phone now. I can look it up. Because I was like, I thought Katy Perry was a Leo, but then I looked at it and I was like, no. But now it's like, I'm like, I have to know. I have to know Katy Perry. I'm trying to do this with my left hand. Here we go. Oh, shit. Her birthday's October 25th. She's a fucking Scorpio. I should have known that. My moon's in Scorpio. What? And she just put out this album that is like this Wonder Woman album, and I see what she's doing. She's trying to like show, like she's trying to like rise the divine feminine too. You know what I mean? It's like, and her and Taylor have had, you know, they were sacred sisters, then that have had a falling out, and now they're, as far as I know, they're sacred sisters again. But that's what I mean. It's like I had a like love, like a hot and cold romance with Katy Perry. Like I said, I was introduced to her by my niece, and then I would follow her, and I was like, I don't know, she's kind of annoying. I'm like, she kind of annoyed me, but like back in that time. And then I would hear a song, and I'm like, oh, I fucking love. I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, oh, it's Katy Perry. And then I started to get to know her right when she was like really vocalizing her spiritual journey, and since then I've just loved her. And then when she was on American Idol, I was like, when people are like, oh, she's over the top, I'm like, she's not over the top. She's being fucking real. Like that one time where she was like, no, you know, blah blah blah. Plus, you know, she's women and our hormones and pregnancy and all that. I don't know what she was going through that time, but you know, sometimes men, you know, blame it on women or get angry, or women are like, oh, it's not just about my period or blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes it is. Let's be honest, sometimes it is. The fucking moon makes a huge difference. They call it our moon for a reason, right? We're on cycles of 28 days for a reason. I mean, why is the woman's period, why is the divine feminine embodiment here that has periods and creates a baby in a womb, you know, like help creates a baby in a womb, co-creates, thank you spirit, with a lot of energy. You know, it was like I was drawn to Pam Gregory again because she was talking about the birth chart, and I just created this really cool the Brady Bunch movie. Marsha, you have to watch it. It's so funny. Christine Taylor is so good as Marsha. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry, that's how my brain goes. But I just did this great little shorts with Pam Gregory about our birth chart and just how it really is the map to, like, you want to get to know who you are, study your birth chart, and they're free. They're free everywhere. PamGregory.com has a link to one free. So does Braca Goldsmith. There are so many really good ones, you know. Look to the people you trust. Like, I trust them, you know, look to, and I think they have their own websites. That's why I say them. If not, they will definitely have a link and is very trusted. They both have written books, oracle cards. I just love them dearly, and they're sacred sisters as well. So the divine feminine is really rising. So I would be very, very, very shocked if anyone takes the presidency in America that is not divine feminine embodied. The old world is gone. So, you know, if this was a sad, desperate attempt on, you know, the Republican Party to bring sympathy to him because they knew that this was going to happen. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't been following this, like, I haven't been following this cabinet like the way I used to. Those of you who know me know I worked off and on very heavily in politics for like 6 years in my 20s in California, and worked at a very high level of, you know, governors, senators, presidencies, you know, things like that. Secret Service were like in my building, you know, or in my office, you know, in the office that I worked in, you know what I mean? Like, it was no fucking joke. So I've seen things. That's what made me actually turn away from politics, because there was a split fucking second where I almost got into politics. I mean, just like I was so done with everything. I was done trying to be a musician, done trying to be a singer, done, you know, I moved to LA when I was 23, and at this point I think I was like 28, and I was just like, you know, I got married young, and, you know, I got married. I used to say I got married for all the wrong reasons, but stayed together for the right ones, and that was true up to a point. But there is just no denying right now what is happening. And so if you really look at everything, like, be the observer. That's the key I've been getting from Spirit too, is just the downloads of that, of being the observer, being alone, being in your own company, having a good time, watching things that make you laugh, you know? Like, think of the scene from the original Willy Wonka when Charlie and Grandpa drink the fizzy lifting drinks, and they're like, you know, he's like, come on, we've been so good, we can sneak a little bit, you know? And so they start floating and they're having a good time until what, right? Until they start getting to the fan, and they're like, as shit hits the fan, right? And it's like, oh, no. And right? Shit happens. And the only reason why Willy Wonka gave him another chance is because he had integrity. And that's what he was looking for all along. him and Grandpa, Grandpa's being a kid too, right? And Grandpa's like, fuck this. Who knows if we'll ever get back in here? This dude's crazy. But I want my grandchild to have the best experience ever. So let's just break the rules this one time, And at the end, it's like, that's what I feel like Spirit's saying, like, we've all been breaking the fucking rules for a long time, And now they're just like, you got to have integrity. And I love, if I will look for the quote. I will look for the quote and I will put it below, or I'll put a link to that scene, because I hope they have that scene. I'll put a link to the scene because the scene is so much better than the quote itself. Maybe both. But just how Willy Wonka says, and so goes a good deed in an ugly world or a cruel world or something like that. Meaning, like, just when he was about ready to give up, he's like, get out of here. He's like, none of you could fucking follow the rules. None of you can blah, blah, blah. Just get the fuck out of here. It's basically, he kicks everybody out. And if you haven't seen Willy Wonka, watch the original, and then watch the Johnny Depp one, and then watch Wonka. I haven't seen Wonka yet, and I don't even know if it's out yet. But just from a little bit of the things that I saw, I feel like Timothy Chalamet, or is that how you say it? I don't know if I'm saying their name correctly. Or Timothée, I think is how you pronounce his name, Timothée Chalamet. I feel like was meant to play young Wonka. I really do. Like, just when I saw him in the costume, I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then I didn't know anything about it, haven't watched anything. And then I had my phone on shuffle, and one of the things on my music is soundtracks, because I love soundtracks, I love movies and stuff. And I heard, come with me, and he's singing his version of In a World of Pure Imagination. And that is what Spirit is like, trying to get us to get out of that emotional stuff. If you've got a memory or something that triggers you, get in there, feel it, and I mean really feel it to your bones, to your core, to your human side, to your human memory, your human essence. But remember that we are all light beings having a human experience. We're different levels of light beings, but we are all light beings having a human experience. Okay? It doesn't place us one above or below each other. If we go into that ego, that's what fucks us up, right? Like I said to Alder yesterday, I'm like, dude, did I not fucking say that he was gonna like get sick or step down or something? No, actually, I'm saying that now. I literally, the first download I got from Spirit was that he was gonna die, and I don't know why, but I feel like, because I don't want to speak it into being, right? But that is what I saw from then. So I don't know. And I don't want to say any more because I don't want to speak it into being. I mean, that happened a long time ago. You know what shit has happened since then? Everything can change and everything, But the biggest thing about my gift is that I try to tell people, don't take what I say as fucking gospel, man, as they would say, right? Like, I'm not a Bible. I'm not a book. I'm not a, all I am is you mirroring you back to you. We're all the same. We're just different cells in the same body. And the embodiment of the Creator. We are all the Creator. Just some of us have a little closer hand to them. I mean, that's what I said to Alder. I said I figured out while you were gone. I said, I've been trying to figure out, like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose, Mama? I think Forrest Gump is free this month, by the way. I'm like, there are so many cool free movies on YouTube. Please go to YouTube Movies Free. There are so many good ones. I pay to not have commercials, so I just watch them, that way. So, but anyway, I digress. So all of this is coming together because Spirit is trying to show us like who we were and like who we are. And it is really, really time for us to, bring them together. Like really bring them together. I feel like I want you to see the fire. Bring the fire in. That's my water. Oh, drink some water. I guess you can't see me. Well, that's okay. Hey, by the way, do you guys like the readings I've been doing where you can't... Oh, cute. We fixed it. Where you can't see me. The last reading I just did, I actually really enjoyed it that way. I got to like channel more and I didn't have to like... It was really fun. So let me know if... And also, before I go further, I just want to say, I know you guys have been commenting on here, Baba's channel. I have 3 channels now. And I'm working on my own stuff and I'm doing all these special projects with Spirit. So it's not, I am hearing your comments. I am seeing them, and just know that I hear you. Thank you for the support. I support you too. I love you too. There's so many of you, so thank you. And I know a lot of you have reached out to me on all different formats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do want to say that this has been coming up a lot too, is the exchange of energy. I'm feeling like some of you are having a hard time, like, putting things out into the universe, because it's like you're holding on too tight. And it's the same with your emotions. It's like your money, your emotions, it's like it's all flow. Everything needs to be in the flow. Recently I've noticed over the last few months that, we get to a point where I'm like, wow, this is good, or like we're saving, or things are good, and then, like, we purchase this thing that we really need. Or like Alder was like, I really need this tool. I turned down jobs because I don't have this tool, and and blah blah blah, and he told me the price on it. I was like, well, that's kind of expensive. And he's like, yeah, but like, I will literally do this job and it'll pay for itself, and I'm gonna make money. He's like, so just, and I was like, okay. But there was like this moment where I like freaked out, and I was just freaking out because I was going back to the poverty consciousness, because I was always, told, like, don't spend, save your money, save your money, save your money. Spirit's like, yes, save, spend, save, spend, save, spend. So I'm hearing save, spend, save, spend. And the more you put out, the more that comes back to you. If you're not getting that job, or you're feeling blockages, or, whatever, in terms of like abundance, whether it's, it could be anything. Or it could be that, like, you have money, but like you're going to the store and they don't have the thing you need. Or you're trying to order something online and you're like, they're still out of that. Damn it. It's like, instead of like, oh, I wonder if that means I'm supposed to try something else. I wonder if that means I'm supposed to, help this person. Maybe it's like, it's interesting because I've been going through this with Spirit, and when I was going through the readings, I found that in some of the readings that I've been doing, when I am in the flow, like, things just like come out naturally, and I'll be like, thank you for, the contributions, the donations, whatever the words that come out. I'm like, thank you for the exchange of energy, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then some of them, it's like I have a hard time getting it out. And I started to realize it's because the balance of energy is off. It's off. It's really, 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 really off. So and it doesn't necessarily have to come back to me per se, but it definitely has to keep flowing. So there's something going on there, and it's for more than one person. I got this a lot. I got this with jobs. I got this with location. I got this with money. I got this with school, animals, family, friends. Like, it's multiple people. Like, I kept getting the same kind of energy. Like, you're just like, this term miser is not I don't know if it's, I don't know where it comes from, but I want to say it's Hebrew, but I think it comes out to being stingy. I think it means stingy or something in Hebrew. And so some people have used that very ignorantly and grossly against someone, their belief system, or what they follow. But that's kind of the energy I'm getting. This kind of like miser. Like, you like taking, and a lot of it is because you're not grounded. I'm getting this very ungrounded energy. You're like, mine, I need it, and it's this hoarding energy. And it's, like I said, it could be people, it could be places, it could be, it may not be money, or I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, this energy has been coming up so much in these readings that I just want to tell you that, because I was doing the same thing. And then I realized, once I just kind of breathed and opened the purse strings and just let go, all of a sudden this other thing popped up, and this other thing popped up, and I was like, oh, thank you, Spirit, and also for me, I feel like people take for granted, like, how much work I really do, like, not just on myself, but like for the tribe, as a starseed and as a light worker. And so sometimes I feel like when it's fellow light workers and starseeds that are not, like, like, the balance is like really off, and I'm like trying to nudge them a little bit, or Spirit's trying to nudge them, and I'm like the one with the shorts, or with the reading, or, whatever it is, or like, they have me. I love making those little montages. If you haven't subscribed to the Magical Medium, really need to. Also, like, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all that stuff really, really helps. It helps my channels to help bring other people to, like, where we are. So, obviously, if you don't subscribe to YouTube, I don't expect that from you, Because I think you have to subscribe to do those things. So like I don't expect that. I really don't. But for those that subscribe, sometimes I'm like, why wouldn't you? Or like the weirdest thing that's interesting to me is that I'll get like likes and then like it'll be unliked. And sometimes you accidentally hit it and you don't even notice it. Like sometimes I do it on my own channel. I'm like, oh, somebody disliked my video. I'm like, oh well, it's not about me, whatever. And I move on, and then I realize it's me, and I start laughing. So I'm like, oh, ha ha ha, you know what I mean? So it could be an accident, but I mean, sometimes I can really, because I'm a telepathic medium, I can feel not necessarily the person, because I put blocks up. I don't want to know who's sending me fucking arrows, man. I don't need to know. That's between them and fucking karma. And karma's got me covered. She's good. You know what I mean? Like, that's all good. But it's like I can see somebody deliberate going, like they're mad at me. They're mad at me. I'm the messenger, right? I'm like, I'm just the fucking prophet, dude. I'm the medium. Like, that's my job. I'm the muse. Like, I'm here to do all these different things. I'm here to wake people up. So I don't take it personally anymore. But I will say lately, I have been feeling more of the exchange of energy thing where I'm like, I said to Spirit, I'm like, this is why I don't really like doing these readings, because I can feel this, me, mine energy, and they could be complete fucking strangers. I don't know, but they're not, right? Because they're part of we're all the same. They're part of the tribe, but I can feel it. And lately, especially the last pick reading I just did, I literally could feel like such a heavy weight when I started it. Some of it was good. It was dragon energy and it was really powerful. And it was like this kind of like stand your ground, Lula, like don't let people, whatever. And then there was other like things that were like just a lot of, I don't want to say greed, but yeah, greed. They're like, why don't you want to say it? I'm like, I guess because I don't want, like, I guess if something perks inside of you right now, then the message is for you. If it's not, then don't make it your message. You know what I mean? Send them and me and us, like the collective, send us love and forgiveness, because I'm not mad about it. Right. Like this person, like that, sorry, I'm like having this thing with my tooth lately. That's their journey. That's their, whatever. That's their emotional clutter. And I'm the mirror. So I'm explaining this to you because this may be happening to you as well. Maybe on a different scale, maybe at home, maybe with your family, with your friends, whatever. But I had to literally like just stop, because I was about to get a new phone number and Spirit's like, you'll know when. And I'm like, okay. Because there are just things that hurt my heart, because I love everybody so much and I just want everyone to win and I want everyone to succeed. But then I heard that song, I Rise, from Katy Perry, and Spirit had me make one of those little montage things with that song, and like while I was making it, it kept playing over and over. Like sometimes I'll play it over and over while I'm getting into the energy of it, because it's for one person or 100 people. But when I make these like collaborations, it's almost like it's like a storyboard or like a picture board. When people make dream boards, it's kind of like what I'm doing, but I'm doing it with like screenshots. So they're really fun, and I've been really amping up on those on the Magical Medium, making them, creating them. I feel like I just heard, yes, release that. Do you feel that? Like, I feel like some of you, it's like, yes, release that negativity. Like I send it back to you. I love you, but I send it back to you, like, because it's your shit to deal with and your shit to carry, and it's not mine. And it's time for you to internalize and find out why. And, and stop lying to yourself about the people you're with, the situation that you're in, your home life, your work life. Like, it's just like, it's almost like you're the star of your own movie, but instead of making you the heroine, you've made yourself like the person that all the shit things happen to in their life. Now, the cool thing is, Spirit's like, now take all that energy and turn it around and go listen to that song. I'm going to put a click for it here. A click for it. I'll put a link below in the comment section and the description box. I try to do both because people don't know, and when they're new, sometimes they don't know about both. And so I want you to listen. Your homework, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is listen to I Rise by Katy Perry and really listen to the words. And whatever rises up within you, write it down. Write it down. I've been getting that from Spirit lately. Be alone and write down. Filter. You need to filter through these emotions, these past, this clutter, this old stuff. It is your parents, it is their parents, it is their parents, and so on. It is the ancestors. And we didn't come here to play small. And we didn't come here. You didn't embody a human life form as a starseed and a light worker. You didn't embody a human life form if you weren't here to do something really grand. And you are here to rise. You are here to rise. You are no fucking victim. Right? And I can't play the song, but what I can do is find the lyrics. Because I feel like I'm supposed to like somehow like be in this, like Katy Perry is our spirit animal for this, because I kind of feel like Taylor is here, and then I feel like Katie's gonna like take her. I wouldn't even be surprised if these sacred sisters planned it. If she was like, when's your tour ending? Got it, perfect. I'm gonna take my little Daisy and my hubby, you know, or maybe he won't go with her, I don't know, and go on, you know, tour, because I definitely feel like she's going to play a tour and do like a cool like show. And because she just, you know, she did Vegas and all that, and then she was, you know, really into American Idol, and now she retired from American Idol, and I don't know who the new one's going to be yet, but I think I know who it is, and I'm really excited if it's her. Very excited. But yeah, I just have this feeling that like something major is about to take off. When I saw her video, I'm like, what is she doing? I'm like, she's probably going to do like the coolest fucking tour ever. You know what I mean? Like, and Taylor would be like, dude, I loved my show, but go to Katie's show. You know what I mean? Like, she's the shit too. Like, and not to compare, but to support each other. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, for whatever, because people, that's the thing right now is I'm watching people pitting people against each other, comparing each other, jealousy, all this. It's just, all that is just not dealing with your inner shit, because if you fucking love yourself, you love everybody else, and you don't care about that stuff. I'm just bringing the tough medicine because that's my job, and I love you so much, and you know I love you, and I know it's temporary. It was temporary for me, it's temporary for you, but I am in a different place. Something has changed and shifted in me. I'm not saying I'm never going to go to those dark places or whatever, but I'm going to handle them differently, because the world is different, the energy is different. The patriarchal, like rape, pillage, you know, slavery, gone, baby. It's gone. It's not meant for this planet anymore. So okay, so Katy Perry, I Rise lyrics. Now I don't know it very well. I'll try and sing a little if I can, but I'm gonna drink some water. And if you know it, sing it loud, sing it proud, and learn it. Oh my gosh, look at this picture. She's so dramatic. I love her. But that's what makes her so, right? She's a Scorpio. Fuck yeah, dude. To my Scorpios, I love you. I'm a Scorpio moon, and it is so like a part of me, man. It's so a part of my heart, right? Because like the moon's connected to our emotions and our heart. So look at where your moon placement is. We're coming back to Pam Gregory with that. So it's time to look at our birth chart and use it. It is the roadmap to our soul. She says it. So I did this little shorts with that and the moon, and it wasn't from the Capricorn moon. It was actually from the lunar eclipse from like a long time ago. It was from a moon that I shot when I lived back at Sarah's farm, the horse farm. So anyway, it's really cool. There's just like all these things that are coming together. I have pictures and video. I have thousands, hundreds of thousands of pictures and videos, and I'm not exaggerating, I swear to you, on SD cards, everything. And I'm like, why am I saving all this stuff? I don't want to hoard it. I want to get rid of it. So today I went through I've been getting rid of stuff, but using my pendulum and using like, do I need it? You know, I took 4 different pictures of that. Which one do I like? And when I can't decide, I use my pendulum. But I've been like clearing away the clutter, and I feel like it's time for another cleansing. And I don't know what's going on with that, but it's just what is that? I was like, is it shadow? It just keeps going in my eye, and it's making me irritated. Okay, so here are the lyrics for Katy Perry's Rise. Oh, see, now I didn't even know it that much. I thought it was called I Rise. Okay, so all right, I don't have my glasses on. I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can't write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. Fuck yeah. I won't just conform, no matter how you shake my core, 'cause my roots, they run deep. Oh, ye of so little faith, Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it. I know it. Oh, I'm getting the chills, you guys, getting the chills. And I will not negotiate. I'll fight it. I'll fight it. I will transform. And the Transformers have been coming up like crazy for me lately. And a lot of their songs from like their soundtracks are like Rise and Victory, No Victory Without Sacrifice, like shit like that, right? Like Autobots unite, you know, like it's fucking time. And I feel like for some of you are like, I've been waiting and I'm waiting. I'm like, I know, but I'm like, we are the fucking key. It's like, Dorothy, you fucking had the magic all along. We could have all done this a long time ago if we had just stuck to the number one rule: love each other, forgive each other, you know, love ourselves, forgive ourselves, you know. And in that embodiment of compassion and love for ourselves, then it's easy to give that love and compassion to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to do. But if we don't love ourselves, it's not easy to do. And this is something I recognized in my partner last night. And he was like, you know, I'm going to take off for a few more days and, you know, give us some time. And I was like, that's perfect. I'm like, that sounds good. But then we're talking at the end, and I said, I just said certain things that I recognize that are still that are bothering me, that are upsetting me, that I said we will, you know, it's not a threat. Like, I'm not trying to threat. Sorry, I just got to crack my back a little. It's not a threat. It's just like, listen, I have to stay in this high vibration. Like, it is my fucking job. It is my purpose to bring this and to bring the medicine, to learn and then teach, and then learn and then teach, and then learn and then teach. Learn, then share. Learn, then share, right? Like, that's my job, learn and share. So right before we had that conversation, I had something kept coming in my orbit with Pink. Pink and Cher have been coming into my orbit like crazy lately. And so I saw this thing, and Spirit was like, it kept coming into my orbit, this shorts, and I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And they're like, no, watch it. And then I watched it, and in the short, she spoke of how her and her husband, Carrie Hart, so thank you, Pink and Carrie Hart. I think her real name is Trisha, but I could be wrong. But anyway, but you know her as Pink. We know her as Pink, and her husband, Carrie Hart, and they both were famous in their own right and had their own path and trajectory in their own right, but they love each other, and they have 2 children. They love their family unit, and so they have separated quite a few times because they needed to. And I don't know who was interviewing her. It might have been Howard Stern, and they said, so like, I think they said something, I'm paraphrasing, I think they were like, oh, for a few weeks or a few, you know, months or something. And I was like, curious, you know, I'm like, you know, because we were apart for a week and it was awesome, but I was happy to see him. But then after a few days, I was happy for him to leave again. Nothing against him, but I'm like, no, I need to stay where I'm at, and thank you for leaving. I'll see you when you get back. You know what I mean? And she said, well, the first time was 11 months. I'm like, what? Or I think she said that it was either the first time was 11 months and the second time was a year, or vice versa. I'm like, holy shit. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, that just because you're married to somebody, or just because you've been with someone for a great length of time, or you share a life with them or whatever, it's like, if you are not on your right path, if you're still in the same thing and they're still doing the old third dimensional stuff, and you know what I'm talking about, you know, if they're still partying, if they're still, you know, negative talking, if they're not supporting your path and your trajectory, if they're, you know, jealous, if they're, you know what I mean, if they're, especially the divine masculine right now, they are in a shit show energy. Now listen, one of the first things I'm going to say before I go any further is that we must embody and love the divine masculine with compassion. Absolutely. You do not have to be like, I'm a divine feminine. I'm like, you're divine. You know what I mean? We're all divine masculine and feminine. In my chart, I'm 70% masculine. It makes a lot of sense that I made myself kind of girly to me. Like, I love girly thing, quote unquote, you know, on the outside. But on the inside, I'm very strong and I feel more masculine. Like, you know, I mean, I was very confused about my sexuality throughout my life because I was like, I miss thrusting into a beautiful goddess. Like, I remember having a penis. Like, I remember what that feels like to have that to be given that gift to enter my body into another body. Like, I remember that. Like, I love that feeling, you know, and I've tried different things in different ways. And I remember one of my friends one time who told me that as much as she loves her partner, who is, you know, feminine, Divine Feminine on the outside embodied. They both have vaginas, just getting literal, but truth. And she says, as much as I love that she tries with other things to, excite me and get me off and whatever, she's like, it's just because I've had that experience. She's like, there's really nothing like it. Does that mean I don't want to be with her? No, I love her. She's like, I'm just saying, like, there's nothing, you can't compare a real, actual human, part of a human body entering your human body as opposed to something made out of, not the human body. I'll leave it there. So there's just all of these things that we're realizing, these synthetic energies. Yesterday we went shopping because I was like, Alder, I'm like, you need some new shirts. I was going through the laundry and I'm like, because of what he does for a living as a mechanic, it's like, no matter how much he washes up or whatever, it's like my oils, my essential oils, they kind of like bleed into my clothing. In some ways it's good because my clothes are really soft when I wash them. They're really awesome. But also at the same with him, he's working with, car stuff, like grease, like car grease and that kind of stuff and chemicals. And so I'm like, I feel like you just need new clothes. Like, I feel like you need new clothes and like new shirts and like, not just part cotton, but like all cotton, more breathable. So check yourself and check your life, check your people. Are you living in a synthetic environment? Like, are you using synthetic products? I don't care if it's your favorite perfume, Chanel No. 5, I don't give a shit. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. Find something that will, you can find almost anything at this point on the internet. The internet was for both, right? For the light and the shadow. You can find almost anything on the internet now to give you the healthy alternative for what you're eating, drinking, doing, whatever. There's a healthy version of it, I guarantee you. And if not, maybe it is your purpose and your job to create the healthy version of it. You want to know what Chanel, be like, hey, put in Google essential oils, Chanel No. 5. Does anybody know any way to get this to remotely smell like that? And if not, then maybe that's your journey, or download it from Spirit. I have had things where I've accidentally put them together. I think one time I put together grapefruit, orange, lemon, and I want to say like frankincense or something. And it smelled like Fruit Loops and root beer. And I was like, what the fuck is... I put it in my diffuser. And I was like, my house smells like Fruit Loops and root beer. But it was so awesome. But it also gave me a lot of triggers, a lot of memories. I actually just started using my diffuser again. And it's so interesting that how much things can trigger those emotional clutter triggers. So, the whole wraparound of this story is... Katy Perry's our spirit animal. Thank you. Listen to that song and embody it right now. We're going to keep going with it. And also to get the people, places, and things out of your fucking life and stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. I love you. I love you. If you're here, I love you. I love everybody and everything, but I wouldn't ask you to do something that I haven't done myself. And some people are like, I'm not as strong as you, Tallulah. I'm not like you. I'm like, no, you're not like me. And I'm not like you. You haven't had my path and I haven't had your path. But use that strength. Use it to become the better version of yourself and to remember that we are light embodied. We are love embodied. And yes, we have shadow. It's part of us. We need to be 50-50 with the balance, right? That's the whole point. I said to somebody yesterday, we were talking about Taylor Swift. I talked to this really cool, beautiful individual, this light worker, this way shower, thank you to Crystal from the Psychic Soul. I love that term, way shower. I had said something like, if Taylor Swift isn't the next, I said something like she's the Christ comeback or something like that, the second coming. I'm like, I don't know what it is. And she's like, well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm like, no, but you know what I mean? I'm talking about like when Jesus was doing that, he was the masculine, the male divine embodied, right? But he there was Mary Magdalene there. There were women and men, obviously, that followed him. But back in that time, it's like women were breeders and whores. And pretty much that was it, and that story and that line, whether you believe in the Bible or you believe in it or not, it's still a story or a fable, right? It's still some type of our ancestry. And if you look at it like that, it's like it would make sense that the divine feminine would rise like that at this time. And it almost feels like, in a weird way too, like where, like when I was growing up, one of my very best friends was Scorpio and I was Sagittarius, and I don't know what their other things are, but my moon's in Scorpio, and I didn't even think I knew that or understood it at the time, but we had such a special friendship. And I was like, isn't that interesting that Katy Perry's Scorpio and Taylor's a Sag, fire sign. And so I'm like, I seriously would not be surprised if it's like passing over the baton or the torch to her, because Katy Perry was there before she was. That's kind of how some of that jealousy and some of that pettiness like sparked, how that kind of happened, right? Because some people, they let their jealousy and their pettiness like take over, or the competition. The only person you should be in competition with is yourself, to be a better version of yourself the next day. Paraphrasing a quote from what's his name, Lewis? I forget. Anyway, I follow him. I put his quotes up all the time. There's certain people Spirit has me follow, and I'm like, and then like I'll just take screenshots for a while, and then I unfollow them for a while. So I'm just a messenger. That's my job, to be the prophet, and so that's all I'm doing here. Is just, I'm here to bring the tough love and tell you that, we need you now. We need you now, and if not now, when? And some people are like, well, Spirit will tell me when. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's interesting because I'm like, I know that like our conversation is just another breadcrumb of Spirit telling them now, telling that when is now. So if you are looking to know when, it's now. There's no time like the present. We need you now, right here in this moment. We need you now. We need your high vibration now. And if that means secluding yourself, then secluding yourself. If that means taking more time away, then take more time away. Especially if you're somewhere where it's summertime, go on camping trips. Go by yourself. Go where it's safe. Ask if you can stay at someone's house. If you can afford to, stay at an Airbnb or stay somewhere, or, offer, some in your friends and family and be like, does anybody have a home or a place that I can watch? Maybe you have a summer home that I can go and stay in. Because, the energy is only going to amp up and get more intense on both sides, right? Because this is the biggest war we're ever going to see in front of our faces, because this is the battle of fucking light and shadow. And once everybody realizes that it's not a battle, that we're just trying to bring things back into balance, but it feels like a battle, right? Because that dark, heavy energy has been there a long time. It's been on the rise for a long time, and the divine feminine has been like pushed down. Breeders and whores, breeders and whores, breeders and whores. Does that mean that the Republican candidate is an asshole? No, I'm sure there is some. Let's put it this way. He's so sadly insecure. Like, it makes me feel sad for him, because you have to be really insecure to have that big of an ego. Because it's only the insecurity and disconnection from your higher self and from the creation that we come from. It's your disconnection from the embodiment of Christ consciousness, which is love, and has been through many prophets, through many religions and fables and stories through time. And in fact, thank you, Enoch. Before this started, Enoch said, for those of you who don't know who Enoch is, Enoch, research and work with Enoch at this time. And Archangel Michael has been coming through a lot. And Archangel is the Archangel of fire, baby. So we're leaving Gabriel. Yes, we're leaving Gabriel of the West, water. We're leaving that kind of energy. And then we're moving into the fire energy of Michael, and then we will be going into the air energy when we go in, grounding energy of Virgo, Uriel, and then we'll go into the air energy of Raphael, which is healing. So, and Uriel's grounding. So just like, what I mean? Like, there's a lot of cool things that are going to take place. And then we'll go back into the water of Scorpio right before, a lot of unveiling, right before the election. And shit might even happen before the election, where it's like, there's no other candidate. Who knows? I have no idea. But that's the thing. So, if people are like, I would steer clear of watching readings that are like giving you like predictions super far out, because this, like I'm saying, this is what I feel. And this is what I saw then, but this still doesn't mean it's going to come completely to fruition. It's not my fucking job to do that, right? Like, spirits, basically all I'm here to tell you is that spirit has got us covered. And if you can believe that and leave the emotional clutter behind, what's the phrase, Spirit? We're going to come right back to that, but what's the phrase again? Emotional clutter, hanging on to emotions and bad feelings like a hoarder. Because I feel like for some of you, you're staying in the victim mode, right? Because that's what a victim does. A victim's like, oh, me, I'm the victim. Like, and we've all been there. And some people are still there, and they may never, ever leave victimhood until they die. And that is a very low vibration, being a victim. Because that's saying that you have no power. Like a puppet You're just waiting for someone to pick up your marionette strings. And you know what I mean? It's like, I'm just a puppet. I'm just waiting for this to happen. I'm just waiting for that to happen. It's like, no, you have to fucking make it happen now. You have to make that leap of faith. You have to change that job. You have to change that location. You have to move out of that house. You have to stop talking to that person. It's like there's literally like no more. And I really feel like at this time that until you get there, you just need to find that inner strength and know that you are a fucking warrior. Find your Leo, find your lion. And in this fire season, in this beautiful energy of Leo, I want to hear you fucking roar. Come to life. And then we'll be in the Leo moon. So you've got like 6 weeks, and we got the Lionsgate portal, Dragonsgate portal as they call it, the 8-8 portal. I mean, just so much is happening, and it's just going to keep gradually, 8-8 is when it's like wide open. And then from the 8-8 portal to Samhain, we're going to see a lot more too. And the eclipse season. We got a super moon coming up next after this full moon. So, and a super full moon in Aquarius. What? You know what I mean? Like everything's coming together. So here's the rest of the song. Oh, ye of little faith, don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it, and I will not negotiate. I'll fight it, I will transform. Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. When the fire's at my feet again and the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time. But still I rise. There's no mistake, no accident. When you think the final nail is in, think again. Don't be surprised. I will still rise. So that was that for what I used for the short. So listen, when she's like, when the fire's at my feet again, right? And the vultures all start circling, they're whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. Wait, you're out of time, but still I rise. This is no mistake, no accident, right? When you think the final nail is in, think again, don't be surprised. I will still rise. I don't know that well, but but I wanted you to hear like the anguish in it. Like when you hear this song, she does it way better. Listen, but this is it. What are you waiting for? This is your time to rise, and this is your time to shine. I put a shorts on Magical Medium. Go look for it in my shorts. Little Jellyfish with Cher from a burlesque song. It's so good. The message is there. You are the star. It's time to shine. It's your fucking movie. Stop playing a supporting role in your film. And stop letting these people, places, and things, and energies, and emotions, and memories, and the past lives, this life, doesn't matter. It's a past life in this life. It's all past. Because today, you get to decide. It's a brand new day. And every day you can get back up again and decide. Are you going to rise? Or are you going to fall back down? Work with Isis energy, the divine feminine embodied. I've been feeling a lot of sacred and ancient Egypt medicine. Talk about I will rise, okay? So do we have any more messages? And I was like, this didn't really feel like they want me to keep going. Okay, so there's that part of the song, right? And then she says, don't doubt it, don't doubt it. You know it. Still rise. Just fight it. Don't be surprised. I will still rise. So, and I love that her name is Catherine Elizabeth Hudson. That's Katy Perry. That's like her real name. So, listen. I love you. It's time to start loving yourself and respect yourself. It's all about integrity. It's all about staying, it's about walking the line, but walking the line for spirit, right? Not walking the line for another person. Each of us are our own journey, our own trajectory. It really is about the journey, right? Because when someone dies peacefully, it's not about, oh, they died. It's like, no, dude, look at how they lived. Do you want to look back and be like, I just spent, I was having moments in the last week where I was playing the victim with my partner. I'm like, man, I just gave 9 years of my life to this person, and they did this to me, and they did that to me, and they blah, blah. I'm like, no, they did this for me. 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 And it still remains to be seen whether we will carry on our journey, but I love them, and I'm in such gratitude. And I told him yesterday, I said, I love you so much, but I'm very happy to be alone. I said, so this is your choice. I said, next time when you go away, it's time for you to work on you. And I'm like, I'll give you all the time in the world. I'm like, whatever you need. I'm like, but I'm going to keep doing my thing and I'm going to continue on my journey. And I said, and I hope that you join me. But if you don't, I wish you well and I wish you love and happiness, right? Like that's the energy I gave him when he left. And, even this morning I was like, bye. I'm like, I'll see you in a few days, It's time to be the star. That's it. Until next time, I love you so much. Take really good care of yourselves and each other. And all of my information is in my on this channel, or it's on the Magical Medium. I don't remember if I still have like stuff where you can contribute, to, because this is still like in a reading, right? Like I remember one time this person was like, I don't want to keep coming back to my own story. They're like, dude, I learn from your stories. Like, you're a storyteller. They're like, that's how I learn. Like, thank you so much for like helping me to like recognize that. So this is my story. What's yours? But yeah, if you want to reach out and work with me one-on-one, or if you'd like to contribute to all the work I do on the planet, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Prayers are good. I love you so much. Blessed be. Oh.